Hi, Melanie Fine here of RocketGirls.com. I wanted to talk a little bit today about why it's so important that women go into science. First of all, the only way to get more women in science is to have the role models in science. And girls can't imagine, or it's very difficult for them to imagine careers in which they don't see women in. So it's very hard for them to, it's like the first female doctors were trailblazers because they decided to put themselves in a position where they'd never seen a woman before. Now we see female doctors everywhere, so girls know that that's a possibility. We need to do the same thing with science. All the more so, the history is relatively new that they actually do medical tests on female subjects. Do you know that it wasn't until 1993 that the National Institute of Health actually did tests on female subjects as well as male subjects? They would test all their medications on men because they didn't want to deal with that time of the month, the hormone issues. So they would do all their tests on men, and guess what? Women had different reactions to different medications. In fact, emergency rooms would send women home who were having heart attacks. They'd send them home because they didn't exhibit the symptoms that men exhibit when they have heart attacks. So they sent them home to die until more women got involved in the research process. So in 1993, the National Institute of Health declared that women needed to be equally tested on medications before they were brought out to the public. Further, it's not even until 2014, what is that, 3 years ago, I have to do my math here, it wasn't until 3 years ago that they actually decided, I know we got issues about testing on animals and everything, but even ethical testing on animals, it wasn't until 3 years ago that the NIH decided to also test their medications, their DNA tests, etc., on female animals as well as male animals. And they respond differently. But again, there was a reluctance to do this because of women's cycles. They thought that would skew the results. Well, what skewed the results was the fact that they weren't doing these tests on women, so they didn't know how women would react, how the female of the species would react. So these are all little bits and pieces of why women need to be at the forefront of science along with men, so we make sure women would think of these things that men just weren't able to think of on their own. So I wanted to also tell you one more thing before I go, and my phone is dying today. It's at the end of the day, so I just wanted to let you know that I have just I've just started a webinar that I wanted you guys to register for. This webinar is the 5 things you need to know if you have a daughter, a high school daughter who loves science. The 5 things you need to know to support her and to ensure a successful future if she wants to go into science or if she's even thinking about it. I left the link below in this post. Make sure that you register for this webinar. Pick a time and I will see you in the webinar. I'm looking forward to talking to you about these 5 steps and talking to you about my program. This is Melanie Fine. I hope you're having a great day, and I will check in with you later.